the coolest one that he's ever talked about was they put a candle beside the reactor, and when they had the gravity amplifier, and when they turned the amplifier to like to I guess it was like directional gravity, this thing, and so when you turn it, it like focuses gravity, and they would do that onto the flame of the candle would stop jumping, it would stand still, but it would still emit light, which was impossible to him. So it was like creating time dilation. Yeah, because he was amplifying gravity. And then he also did it once where they created like this, what seems like a black hole.
Black hole?
Yeah, it was like a round circle that was black. That was when they cranked it and like focused the gravity beam, it would create this round dot. And they didn't know what that was. They didn't interact with it,
You didn't like stick a finger out to see if it got sucked in?
Because, maybe that'll destroy the whole universe. Who knows? I don't know what kind of, but that's the type of technology you're working with when you're messing with gravity. And I'm sure that the US government or whoever was in charge of the nuclear tests felt some of that when you're blowing up megatons of nuclear like you're probably tearing space-time on some level as well, right? So yeah, I think all that stuff's incredibly dangerous, but so fascinating. Yeah.
How long did he say he was doing the work on it and the testing approximately?
I think he was only there for a few months.
Still, that's like a lot of time to spend with one craft.
Yeah. Well, he went in the craft once. Other than that, he was working with the reactor and just doing tests on the, trying to reverse engineer how it propels. There's some interesting stuff there, though. I mean, there's a ton of interesting stuff. Yeah.
Would they debrief him on a daily or weekly basis? And if so, like, who's doing that?
Nope.
So he'd be brought in by the same guy, Dennis, you said his name was, to work on it
and
every
there's
day.
Security guards everywhere.
And then
that are constantly pushing you, constantly threatening you.
Pushing you and threatening you.
Yeah. Like checking his ID, even though like he knows he works there, like, and keep it down, like all this, like you better not fucking talk, like just constantly berating them with stress inoculation. And that's the environment. He's like, it's a very high stress environment because these people would, they were like bullies, essentially, the security that was there constantly. And it would put you in a state of fear, like high stress and fear, constantly. You had to whisper when you were talking, like, so nobody, like it was, look down. There was a red line and a blue line. If you crossed the red line, you were immediately shot, like type deal. You had to follow the blue line. Like it was high stress environment, like very, 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 very. And so like when I hear that, like this is 1989 when Bob came out and he started talking about reverse engineering of a craft. The first time we talk about an intact craft that we're reverse engineering, by the way. Everything else was a crash before that. Yeah. And so, that was new. And then talking about the propulsion, talking about like how they're doing it in teams, like nobody had ever really talked about that. And then, just saying things like, oh, the high stress environment during the compartmentalization. And I mean, you listen to Grush, you listen to all these guys, what they're talking about.